Hey everyone, Scorp here. Since I just finished a light fairy type playthrough, I figured I'd go over another type of light fairy deck, since my last one was more of a low attack power buff deck with Gwipotana Megamis. This is very much not that style. This is a Mystical Elf package light deck, using fairies as the big beat sticks. So you probably are all familiar with the fairy deck leaders: spellbinds, zombies, destroys, fiends, increase resistance so your fairies don't die to dark holes, they don't get affected by traps, increased strength and extended support range, pretty standard stuff there. We'll go into the Mystical Elf package, 3 Mystical Elves, 3 Magician of Faiths, these fuse with the Elves to make Mystical Elf, 3 Unhappy Maiden, these are also fusion fodder, they are also only cost 6 deck cost, and you can play them in a pinch to take 0 damage. 3 Happy Lovers, this is a buff target, it can also be fused with Elves to make Mystical Elf in a pinch. 3 Wing Egg Elves, these are 3 of the elves you're going to use. Ray and Temperature, this is your other buff target. 3 Dancing Elf, this is your other elf to fuse in, so 15 cards for your fusions, and 6 buff targets, that's 21 monsters. And because we have so many flipping things, we have Darkness Approaches in this deck, I put in Man-Eater Bug, just for your 1 out to Jiraiya, since we're gonna need it. In case Jiraiya exists. 3 Mountains, a Soul of the Pure, want some life point recovery. 3 Darkness Approaches, so that we can reset all of our Mystical Elves, and our Man-Eater Bug. So this card's great, extra, usually 1600 on all your creatures. I have a Change of Heart here, just 1 extra card to make your opponent play around. 2 Winged Trumpeters, these are buff cards. This really could be whatever you want them to be. These could be 2 more Man-Eater Bugs, but put in the Winged Trumpeters just to even get our summoning cost down even further, because these take up a card that's essentially costs 0 summoning power. 3 Silver Bow and Arrows, Bright Castles, and then a Ruryoku. You can put in more, it all depends on your deck cost. And then a Goblin Fan to play against Ruryokus and burn decks. Yeah. You can easily put in Green Kappas and Eye Armors. Really, I needed something to play around Jiraiya. That was the big thing, and I was hoping that I didn't see many of them. And there wasn't much to really play around Jiraiya with the light type of setup. So we're gonna go and start with Zera. Zera should have a really bad time against fairies. But yeah, we have answers for most things in the deck. And we have relatively strong cards, so. Let's get this away from ourselves so we don't get Change of Hearted again. This up, over. Darkness Approaches is fine, we'll just play it down. So, How about we go for the chance at lethal? Mine. We're either gonna lethal him or we're gonna kill both of his cards. Easy game, easy life. This is why you put Change of Heart in your deck. That right there is the exact reason that you put Change of Heart in your deck. Single-handedly wins games. Let's see here. Mako's always a fun person to duel. This is a much slower deck than a lot of the decks that I'm used to playing, so we'll be playing a little bit more of a setup deck. Unfortunately, it does mean that this deck is kind of weak to a lot of the very aggressive decks. This style of deck would be pretty good against like trap-heavy decks and decks that focus on destroying your cards. But it'll do pretty poorly against decks that charge you really quick. Since you're basically fusing into an 800 attack creature, and there's not really much you can do to make that better with lights. And we'll just grab ourselves this. We can start doing the flip shenanigans next turn. Maybe we'll draw one more buff target, otherwise we'll just use Mystical Elves as a creature that kills opponents. So we just increased our creature's attack by 3,200. It's the only fairy on the field, but we might as well just increase it by another 600. We'll go ahead and use Darkness Approaches to reset all of our Mystical Elves. And we'll flip over the ones that are in the back. And we'll see if he just decides to finish himself off. Any human at this point would never attack your creatures. We'll go ahead and give it a little extra help. And we'll see if he decides to commit some seppuku on a creature that just maxed out its attack and defense. And we maxed it out in under 10 turns. It would take quite a bit longer with Pumpkins to ever get to that much of a result. So yeah, this is how this kind of fairy deck plays. It is, unfortunately, it's a slow start, and then it comes online, and you pretty much just run your opponent over. With really, really big creatures, definitely not the best for speedrunning, definitely not great against other people, because other people are just going to play a much faster deck and then kill you, or they're going to play a control deck that can just actually deal with... they can just straight up deal with your creatures. So this is the card I'm gonna buff, or at least one of them. We'll probably end up playing the second mountain much later. That's a Magician of Black Chaos, by the way. We don't need Solo the Pure in this matchup. I'm just gonna fuse out a Mystical Elf. Get away from it because he can... he only runs Brain Control, so he technically can't control that, but still want to avoid it. And we drew ourselves a second of the good cards for buffing, so we're going to go ahead and act like we're buffing them. Hopefully we draw one of the many cards in our deck to help us buff these up further. There's one of them. Since we already have 2 buff targets, we should be good. I'm going to wait one more turn because he never moves his deck leader, he won't get to my Ray and Temperatures in time. There is a chance I draw another Mystical Elf or something. Instead, I just drew a Magician of Fate, which will be great for recycling this Darkness Approaches. We'll just go ahead and get back a Soul of the Pure, just because we have it. This is basically just pure advantage. There was no card that I actually wanted from that. It was just a free card. We'll want to put our Mystical Elves in defense since he has Mirror Forces. I'm going to move this to the side, move this forward, and move this up. And then I'm going to play a mountain up here and take away the majority of his field from being dark. And now we basically just have complete control of the rest of the game. Next turn I will Darkness Approaches and bring out the I will do one more set of buffs, and the game is pretty much over. Is this the quickest way to win? No. But is it extremely effective? Absolutely. And this just goes straight infinite in terms of increased power, so getting an extra plus 1600 attack per turn is absolutely ridiculous. That was a lot of leader power activations. Do this. Goodbye, Magician of Black Chaos. And this is pretty much overkill at this point. There's no point in using Darkness Approaches anymore, but you can for fun. And your opponent just straight up loses. Yeah. Remember, Dragimo, even playing against other Ray and Temperatures and Happy Lovers will pretty much just ruin your day with this deck. Yeah. Also, cards like Dark Hole and are kind of annoying, but since you can kind of play around them with your leader ability, it's not that bad. Anyway, this is a pretty strong deck. Basically, you're just doing a whole bunch of buffing and then you kill your opponent with whatever you want. Yeah. Guess I'll just take down Necromancer too, just to show it off one more time. This is probably more true to what fairies and lights want to do, but it has significant issues with being slow. That's a monster. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for some reason I feel like this duel's over. Oh, right, because he can do literally nothing. Um... What was that? Magic Jammer. No. So we can start doing this type of win condition. With our deck. Where we can destroy every single card that he ever plays. So we have infinite value this way too. Yeah. So, just grab Change of Heart. Take whatever card this is. Oh. Ew. This with 2 Bright Castles. I'm kind of curious as to what this is. Oh, a Monster Reborn, huh? And again, our leader power just made it so that that didn't matter. And we finally drew some decent cards, but it's completely over. So the Man-Eater bug killing all of their cards is a pretty interesting way to just win the game. Not that it really matters, but, you know, just another way that a deck like this can be degenerate. Just having an additional method of winning games is really good. So if you have anything that you'd rather put in this deck, I know I didn't put Green Cap and Eye Armor in this one. You could absolutely put it in there. You could also put in more copies of Man-Eater Bug and do more of this type of thing that I did just here. Green Cap and Eye Armor might actually be pretty good for you to actually survive the early game. That's probably one of the main things this deck has a problem with is If it were to ever go second against another person, it would probably just keel over dead. So, if anyone has a good solution to that problem, let me know in the comments below. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a nice day.